Hello everyone, this is Rohit. Welcome back to this channel. Hopefully this will be one video that segment that we continue. So this is
going to be a totally different thing. We are going to look back at the week which has gone by, and we are going to look at key news developments that have happened.
Again, the theme of the show will remain the same. We will look at facts and focus on segments that the mainstream media will not report upon. So they will completely cloud the airwaves with celebrity gossip and all kinds of Bollywood, sports. So we are not going to focus on that. We are going to focus on important issues that will affect you directly. So in this video we are going to focus on three things. So one is the Snoopgate, the other one is the US foreign policy in Syria, which is very important, and also climate change. Snoopgate, it has been recently discovered that the NDA government authorized giving snooping powers to 10 agencies, 10 agencies to actually.
Can you give any examples of these agencies?
So for example, Intelligence Bureau has been handed that authority, Narcotics Control Bureau, Enforcement Directorate, Central Board of Direct Taxes, Central Bureau of Investigation, and etc. etc. These agencies are very powerful, and some may say too powerful.
But there can be this argument that these are very important agencies for our country, and maybe giving them snooping rights is better for our defense or better for the integrity of our country.
Yeah, but see, it is being done in the name of national security, to be fair, but you cannot encroach upon citizens' constitutional right. Remember, such powers are almost always used to attack minorities, not just of your political affiliation, but also of opinion. So if there is a dissenting voice, they can use that to track you and shut you down. So this has happened historically. So if you look at the Patriot Act that was passed in US, it was disproportionately used against for spying on Muslims, and they did not get anything out of it. That was unconstitutional. Secondly, if you look at NDA's justification, they are saying this is authorized in 2009 by UPA government, but 2017 the Supreme Court of India upheld the right of privacy as a constitutional right. So this law is illegal. So just to give a background to you guys, so if whatever the chambers pass, if it is if the Supreme Court rules it unconstitutional, that cannot become law even if it is passed.
Just so you don't think that we are targeting just the NDA government, we'll talk about UPA. UPA was also involved in this. More than 9,000 phones and 500 emails were monitored during UPA rule. Was it UPA 2 or was it UPA as a whole?
UPA as a whole. So remember that such powers are used by the elite and people in power to target people with dissenting voices. So you may think that okay, the government that I like is in power and hence this is good, but then so if you say that NDA, I like NDA and they are using this power, I'm okay with it, but remember then UPA will also use this power. And it was started by UPA and NDA is using it. So as common people, our privacy is encroached. Every common person should be against this. So something that we should oppose. And if you are not opposing it, see, people, your government will listen to you. So I would say flood the telephones, flood emails to cabinet officials, everything with saying that stop snooping. Okay, this is very important, because if you allow this to happen, then there is always, they will use this as a precedent, and pass more laws restricting freedom of expression, right to privacy, etc., etc.
But what is your opinion about using it just for national security?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. So if someone wants to monitor emails and phones, then there is a way. What you could do is you can put a system in what in US currently the situation is. So if you want to see email or tap phone, you have to get an authorization order from a judiciary. So a judge has to sign off on that, and the federal government has to give a written justification why that is required. So if there is enough accountability and two branches of government are co-signing on it, then it's fine. And if there is a real reason, but remember, this is mass surveillance. This is indiscriminate. They are not just targeting people who are so whoever they don't like, they will do it. So it can happen to you. So let's look at second thing is the climate change. So this is something that climate change. So this is something we will be covering regularly from now on. So I would every week we will be looking at climate change from now on. It is not spoken about that much in the mainstream media,
and still it is very important for the survival of humankind. Yeah, and not just humans, animals as well.
Correct. So if we are in a catastrophic situation, the reports indicate that the Indian sea level is projected to rise by 2.5 feet by 2100.
But 2.5 feet does not sound like much.
Yeah.
So is it really that catastrophic?
Yeah, this will almost ensure that large portions of the coast will be lost to the ocean. So there will be massive flooding in Mumbai. Mumbai may become uninhabitable. Similarly, the banks of areas where it is close to which are on river banks, those areas will become uninhabitable, because when you're talking about 2.5 feet, remember the ocean is so large that even if a little bit of it spills over, that is sufficient to wipe out towns and cities.
So it is clear that we have to avoid this situation.
Correct.
So what can we do?
I think there is only one way to do it. So that is to completely move away from fossil fuels to green energy. It can be done. Solar and wind are extremely viable these days.
Yeah, the costs have come down significantly. I think they are competing with the cost levels of coal.
Yeah, so I think absolutely right, and with enough research and enough development, and if we stop giving subsidies to these fossil fuel companies, I'm sure in no time they will be competing against oil as well. So just to continue on this line, before I'll continue to give some facts. At current levels of emissions, CNN reports that climate will be warmer by 1.5 degree. This 1.5 degree is the threshold that we defined it in Paris Climate Accord, that if it passes 1.5 degree, higher than 1.5 degree over the pre-industrial levels, then this is irreversible.
And you are talking about 2030.
Yeah.
So we have less than 12 years now.
Less than 12 years. Yeah. And we are already higher by 1 degree. So we are 2/3 of the way already there. So we planned an action in 2013-2014 in the UN in the Paris Climate Accord. In 4 years we have already crossed 1 degree. So so the timer is and only 1.5 degree to go.
So are you saying that the current shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy is not happening fast enough?
Absolutely. So if we have to stop it and barely stop it, then we have to reduce the emissions from 2010 levels to 2030 by 45% of CO2. Secondly, by 2050, the emissions have to become zero.
So do you think it is possible for developing countries or emerging economies to completely move to renewable energies and skip those fossil
Yeah,
fuels?
it's definitely possible. So there was an interesting study done in Georgetown where the it's U.S. Republican mayor of Georgetown, Dale Ross, signed bills asking and moving everyone to 100% green energy.
And I just said, well, let's just take a look at it for a year, and you tell me if your utility bill goes up or not. And then let's take a look at it in the second year and tell me. And so through education, people have supported it.
What this Republican mayor is telling you is if you want affordable electric bills, think hard about moving to sustainable energy.
Not only is it the right thing to do, it's economically the right thing to do, and it's the future.
And out of fossil fuels. So what they actually found out in a year when they ran this experiment, their utility bills, their electricity bills actually came out to be lower. So it is possible to actually use green energy to sustain our energy requirements and do it affordably.
I think India is doing okay. I think it is doing well because India had set a target of 20 gigawatts of power by 2020. They exceeded it in 2018. They kept a higher target for 2022, I think 100 gigawatts of power.
Yeah, credit where credit's due. So India and Canada are only major countries who have actually shown significant progress. In December 2018, there was a report on the progress of Paris Climate Accord. So India has done well, and there's no doubt about it. The federal government deserves a lot of credit on this matter. But still, we are barreling towards the crisis, and this is something that we'll have to keep on reporting from week after week. Let's look at the last segment for the day. It is foreign policy. Now this is typically centered, we are typically focused on Asia and things that affect Asia, but Middle East foreign policy of US and Europe play a very important role, because if the policies cause any damage to the political environment in Middle East, we are affected more. We are closer to the action than US or Europe is. So if more terrorists are born, it affects us. It doesn't directly affect them that much.
And it can also affect oil prices.
Yeah. So what do you think? The Trump withdrew the Syrian forces from Syrian forces, that he ordered the withdrawal of troops from Syria. He is also asked that 7,000 of troops be withdrawn from Afghanistan. What do you think of this?
I support this decision, but I'm interested in your view because you are generally very left-leaning and liberal person. So, are you with the left this time?
No. So this is surprising. So if you look at the liberal pundits and mainstream media, they generally support they are supposed to support a non-interventionist foreign policy, but they are blasting Trump over something that they ideally should support.
Yeah.
They are not mentioning that this war is actually illegal. So they have not. Attacking a sovereign nation that did not attack the US is against international law. So if, say, it was not US, say it was Iran who attacked Syria, what would Iran be? What would be the narrative? That Iran is a rogue state, it is a terrorist nation. So this is illegal. Secondly, it is also unconstitutional. So not only it is illegal under international law, it is illegal under the US Constitution because they did not declare a war. So ideally, if you want to go to a war, both the houses of the US federal government have to pass a bill, and the president authorizing the government to declare war. But that has not happened.
And what will be the consequences of pulling out the troops from Syria?
See, Since the war on terror has started was started by George Bush in 2001, after the fall of the Twin Towers, the research shows that there are more terrorists now than they were at the height of the Afghanistan war. Because what happens is, when you attack, you do drone strikes, you do air strikes, you have a heavy toll of civilian casualties. So what happens is, a report released by CIA has shown that only 10% of people who are killed by drone strikes are actually targets. Rest 90% are collateral damage. And what happens?
I'm sure that makes the recruitment process for these terrorist organizations much easier, because they have a motivation now.
Yeah, and they're right. So most people in Afghanistan, for example, the natives do not know why US is still there. They think that it's a foreign nation occupying our lands and trying to take our minerals. So
for Indians, you can give this example. There are the northeast region of India is under Naxal strikes. If US came to India and started using drones to attack the Naxalites, and 90% of the casualties were civilians, so will India be happy with that situation? I think India would strike back, and I think Syrians have a reason to be unhappy.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. We have that backbone to do something. So again, now there is one drawback, that is Kurds. Now Kurds are a minority in Middle East who are actually secular. So these are much more secular. They have much more egalitarian society. They allow women in the military. So I feel for the Kurds, because when US withdraws its troops, Kurds who are fighting Turkey will probably get decimated. So there is that potential drawback. And another thing is, drawback is, see, Trump is not a humanitarian. Okay, he is not doing it from the goodness of his heart. What reports are suggesting that there's a $3.5 billion arms deal that is ongoing with Turkey, and that
so that makes sense.
Yeah, Erdogan will be very happy with this decision. Second thing is, Russia is very happy. Now I do not know if the Russia conspiracy theory is true, whether Trump is compromised by Russia or Trump is taking orders from Putin, but Trump has ties to Russian oligarchs. So did that affect the decision? I don't know. So in any case, the end result is something that I support. It could have been done in a better way. So we could have done the US government could have done the arms deal with Turkey and put a condition that you will not violate ceasefire with Kurds and attack them.
Okay.
And then only you get the $3.5 billion. But they have not done it, or Trump has not done it, and he has ordered the Syrian troops. Overall, I would suggest, if people want to protest, liberals and people from my side want to protest for protecting the Kurds and saying that we will not agree to an arms deal without supporting
condition.
Yeah. I think that's it for this week's segment. It was slightly long, but
we'll try to make it a weekly thing again.
Yeah.
So it will most probably air on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
Absolutely, yeah.
So give us a like if you like this concept,
and comment. We really want to know that what do you think, especially on the Syrian withdrawal. That is something we are really interested. Do you buy the liberal conspiracy about Russia?
And also let us know if you prefer shorter videos or videos that are longer than 10 minutes.
Yeah, give us some topic suggestions. So
because a lot of people are watching these videos and they are not commenting.
Yeah.
This is a new channel, so if you give us feedback, we'll be happy to act on it.
Yeah, surely. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next.